Manifestation muscle. Chances are you've been trying to materialize your desired reality for a while now. But the issue is you don't have enough manifestation muscle. Manifestation muscle is probably a concept you've never even heard of, because this is some shit I came up with off topic again. And it's just from the experience of understanding that more often than not, we're lacking what our good bro has right here, which is muscles. And in order for you to lift your desired reality up to where you are right now, you need manifestation muscle. So in this video, I'm going to show you the mistake that you've been making in trying to lift your desired reality without having a certain level of muscle, and then how to build that muscle to change your entire experience with manifesting your desired reality, instead of it being some difficulty that it is right now to something being much easier. Okay, so before I actually go into manifestation muscle, two things I want to say. First, I want to tell you a story about how I nearly lost my life. I'm not even bullshitting. I nearly lost my life. And then secondly, make sure you're taking these notes down and dropping them in the comments per usual. You already know how we do it over here. Spirituality without the ability to control your reality is vanity.
Ouch.
So, I've been going to the gym for a while now, and I go to a gym by myself. I don't like training with people. I'm just that type of person. I don't like people seeing me make funny faces or whatever, so I just go by myself. So I remember for a while I'd been benching 30 on each side. What's that? 30, 80 kgs in total. I don't know what that is in pounds. You'd have to change that to whatever it is wherever you are. I've been benching 80 kg easy for a while, for months. So I was just like to myself, you know what? I want to go for 2 plates, 100 kgs. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go for 2 plates. So then bear in mind, no spotter, nobody to stand over me, pause and hold it for me, pause again. And then I managed to do 1 rep. Bear in mind, when I did 1 rep on 2 plates, I felt invincible. I felt like Toji from JJK. You know what I'm saying? I felt like peak James St. Patrick, peak Homelander, peak Franklin Saint, like highest of the highest. I felt undefeated because only a small percentage of men can bench 2 plates, and it was a status symbol, right? And I was like, damn, I've been going to the gym by myself. I done it. Now you're thinking, get to the story, bro. Nigga, where did you nearly lose your life? Well, I did 1 rep.
Good morning.
And then my boys were like, yo, bro, you done that easy. You can go for 2, just go for 2 reps. So, what did I do? I then went.
No, I'm out of warranty, so Blue Eddie's not gonna help me either way.
So 1 rep.
Josh is going to go try and buy a cord right now. I just sent him to the store.
Like, I went up for
Well,
that
I didn't
rep.
send him to the store. He wanted to go to the store, and I asked him while he's gone, would he pick up a cord for me, or see if he could find it in town. So he's gonna go to a couple places and see if he can find. He wanted to go on an adventure with Elliot. They want to go drive around. They like to drive around. But anyway, so he's going to see if he can find this cord. If he can find this cord, then I'll be able to hook up. Theoretically, I will be able to hook my solar panels directly up to my power box. So that's what we're going to try to do. Is we're going to try to hook my solar panels directly to my power box, because supposedly my power box has a charge box on it. It is an inverter or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. 11:11. So if I can't get the cord here in town, I might have to order it online. Let me just play this, let this play in the background, and that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to sit here and look online and see how much it costs online, and he wanted to go into town anyway, so I just gave him that mission or whatever. But most likely I'm not going to be able to find the cord I need here in town, because it is an MC4 to XT90 that I need. So we'll see if we can figure it out.
My arms went right here. Bear in mind, no one's spotting me, no one's around, and the type of gym I go to, it's not a gym rat gym, it's like a luxury gym. So nobody in there is big. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Anyways, I go for that second rep. Boom! Drop the weight on my head. On my head. I dropped the weight on my head. I got up. Like I felt sick. Like I was just like, oh my god. Like I nearly.
I'm proud of you for showing that.
If I cannot get the video
I'm so proud of you
in this video, but if not, then whatever. Just imagine.
I love it when people show what they fail, you know, like failures, like admit that they fucked up and fail.
More than I could chew. I tried to lift more than I could, and I nearly lost my life. I thought I'd have a dent in my head, like Tom and Jerry style. But anyways, my point being, currently you're making the same mistake that I did, whether you realize this or not, when it comes to materializing your desired reality. You're trying to bite off more than you can chew. And because you're trying to bite off more than you can chew, you're resulting in struggle. Because if we use the physical third dimensional example of trying to lift a weight that is beyond your means, it will always result in either failure or it will either result in struggle. Failure or struggle. That's what it always comes down to. And the issue is, whether you realize this or not, at this moment in time, you've fallen into a trap that so many people fall into, rightfully so, by the way. And that trap is you discover the potentiality of your ability to control and create your desired reality from the power of your mind and becoming the vibrational match of
No.
that you want.
No.
I want to reiterate
Hold on.
two
Shush.
definitions of manifestation.
Stop talking right now. Stop.
One is manifestation.
Stop. Hold on. So the chord might be wrong. It's not. If that is MC4, that's not correct. That's not correct. That's not correct. That's not what it is. Let's see. Harbor Freight Solar. Okay, Thunderbolt Solar. What kind of cord is this? Product overview. Specifications. Okay. Fuck me, dude. But what is it called? I don't understand. Reject all cookies. Fuck off. Why are you fucking clicking things on my screen? Please don't do that. Thank you. Okay, owner's guide. Let's see, where is the name of the cord? Okay, it's called DC connector cable. You don't have like specifications about the types of names of your fucking cords, friend? Okay, so this is stupid, but let's see, Thunderbolt Solar cord Okay, so like I have that. It's called SAE. SAE. It's called SAE. And now I have to find out, okay, SAE, and then let's see, Blue Eddy, solar. Solar charging cable, compatible power station. Okay, so I need so we need SAE to MC4. Okay, so it's definitely not an MC4 to XT90. So they have that at Harbor Freight. SAE to MC4. Oh my god, I hate using computers, I forgot. This is really frustrating. No, Italian Queen, he did not get the cord unstuck. I have to just try to figure out a way to charge my box from solar, and so I don't have a Blue Eddy branded solar panel. They're too much money. I don't have the money to buy one right now. I won't have the money to buy one for a while. So I have to try to find a cord. Probably I'm going to end up having to buy this cord online. Hold on. SAE. What is the XT90? XT. Okay, so that's what an XT90 looks like. So okay. That is what I need. That is what I need. I need XT90 to SAE. It's only 2 feet long. I need more than 2 feet. What am I supposed to do? Put the power station outside? Oh, they have way more. Okay. I could probably afford that. Why are computers so frustrating? I don't know what to do. I can't remember what my sign-in is. Okay. All right. So that's definitely what I need. I need to text Josh. I almost just bought a XT60, so that's not what I need. And why is this fucking Amazon Espanol? What's the difference between XT60 and XT90? They have XT60 to SAE, but they don't have XT90. But why? It's okay, Heather. Don't get frustrated. You'll figure it out. They have XT90 to all these other fucking solar bit ends, but not the one that I need. I don't know anything about electrical or solar. This has been fucking stumping me for 3 years. My brain just gets like confused and then stops doing thoughts. Like literally, like zero is coming to brain. Like nothing. Blank slate. I wish I could explain it. I couldn't pull a thought if I wanted to. It's just I'm getting so confused and overwhelmed. Like I don't know what to do. So like I don't know what to do. I think I should get myself a coffee. No, I'm going to go back to doing exercises for a minute. I'm going to try and get myself centered, and then I'm going to try this again now that I know what I need.
Isn't creating your reality or bending reality. It is simply internally shifting to a degree where you're no longer emotionally dependent upon seeing reality change. When you're at that point where you're good with it, and you're at that point when you're good without it, due to the fact that you need it, needing is an indication of importance. Importance is an indication of excess space, excess energy. That excess energy, that space, the more importance, the bigger the space in between you and your desired reality. When you're able to collapse that importance, it merges into one and you experience it now. My point being, when you're good with it,
No, don't do that.
The second aspect of manifestation is the fact that you're not actually creating anything. You're not. What you're doing is simply taking what is invisible and making it visible by becoming the vibrational match to what it is that you want. And part of that is getting to that point where you're good with it and you're good without it. But for the time being, you have to understand how the subconscious mind works. And if you don't understand how the subconscious mind works, you're not going to be able
I did Google it. But Google is giving me confusing answers. Google's giving me Google is contradicting itself. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. Oh, that's so much better on my ass. Oh my God. My butt bone's not built up. My butt muscles aren't built up enough to do biking yet. Okay. It's all right, Heather. You're not having a panic attack.
Materialize your desired reality. For the mere fact that your subconscious mind is the womb of your reality. And what often people fail to take into consideration when they're excited by the possibilities of what they can materialize is this one thing. You're failing to take into consideration the frame of reference through which your subconscious mind sees reality. My point being, I want you to understand that you cannot go outside of the confinements or the box of your subconscious mind. And the mistake that people often make is trying to do exactly that. You have to understand that your subconscious mind has begun to see reality in a particular way. Your frequency has been conditioned to a particular level. So what often happens is you have this grandiose desire. For example, let's say you're making no money at all and you want to make 100K a month. What you have to understand is your subconscious mind has been accustomed to the box of making 0 a month. Extrapolate this to wherever you are in life and, of course, balance out the numbers to make sure that it makes sense. Because your subconscious mind has been accustomed to so long from the figure of 0, the confinements to which it exists in is 0. Meaning, when you
the camera's going to start shaking
to a position, for example, and this is, you can extrapolate this to anything. You can extrapolate this to dating. You can extrapolate this to healing an aspect of a family trauma, whatever it may be. Because it's so far from what your mind can conceive as possible, any attempt that you take, you're going to end up like Nero dropping 100 kgs on his head. You understand the point that I'm trying to make here? Anytime that you try to go beyond the means from which your subconscious mind has been accustomed to seeing reality through conditioning, you're always going to end up being in a position where you're trying to bite off more than you can chew. You're always going to be in a position where you're trying to lift more than you can. You need to be able to work with...
It's funny how I started working out and now everybody's using exercise references. Have you noticed that?
And there's a way that you go about doing that, which I will reveal at this moment in time. But right now, what you should be thinking is, for example, let's say, I'm just going to throw a bunch of examples out there. Hopefully this catches whoever's watching this video. Let's say you're somebody who wants a great relationship and you've been accustomed to again and again continuous bad relationships. You trying to materialize a perfect relationship is so far from what your subconscious mind has begun to be referenced to in reality that when you attempt to try and do it, your subconscious mind, like my arms that day, are going to shake and drop. Extrapolate this to any aspect of life, whether business, whether relationships, whether a personal characteristic, whether a physical appearance, no matter what it may be, you need to be able to work in reference to the subconscious mind. Because anytime you try to go against the subconscious mind, you will ultimately lose. Because whether you realize this or not, your subconscious mind is the dwelling place of God. And unfortunately, there is nothing more powerful than God in your reality. And when I say God, I'm not referring to some dude sat in the sky judging the course of human events. I'm referring to an impersonal energy, also known as the Most High, specifically Most High frequency, which is also the substance of reality. That's what God is. In the same way, you can think about how electricity is something that has forever existed before humans could harness it. But the individuals that were able to harness electricity were able to use it in a way that benefits them, in the same way that the individuals that were able to harness the impersonal energy that is God were called the Christs. And if you want to dive more into that, go look at a book called The 16 Crucified Saviors by Kersey Graves. Now, just for clarity, once again, anytime that you try to, in fact, let's do it like this, right? Let's say right here is you. With no muscles, by the way, no muscles. And over here is your desired reality. Or put DR.
Isn't it weird how everything is using exercise references now? This is just bizarre. This is bizarre.
Niggas. Now, over here is you. And because how far your goal is in the perception or the frame of reference from your subconscious, that jump is so large that any time that you try to make that jump, you ultimately fall. And when you fall, that's when it looks like when you're trying but it's just not working. You're trying but things are getting worse. Nothing seems to be changing, despite all the crystals that you're rubbing and whatever else nonsense y'all niggas be doing these days. But you get my point. So there's a very important process through which you can build manifestation muscle. And I want you to take this analogy that I'm going to use here. Franklin Saint didn't just become, you know what I'm saying? He had to work his way up. Same thing over here. You know, Goku, Super Saiyan 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. He didn't just jump stages. And it's the same way how you need to approach manifestation in this sense, because once you're able to see it through the perspective that I'm about to give, it will not only give you a greater sense of peace, which makes anything easy. You should go watch my video why you need to go to heaven before you manifest, or whatever it's called. Something to do with heaven and manifesting. Once you're able to enter that state, everything becomes easier because the state from which you're operating out of is a state of peace. And whereas most people see that particular state of peace and serenity and calmness as a destination that they would receive upon materializing their desired realities, it's actually a prerequisite. In order for a ship to reach its destination, the waters need to be calm. I've also been receiving a lot of comments from Americans in particular asking if I'm from Baltimore. I don't know what that means, but no, I'm not from Baltimore.
You look like you're from Baltimore, though.
With a lady, she said that's not a good thing. So please, guys, I'm not from Baltimore. I'm also not Nigerian. Nigerians, I know you want me to be Nigerian, but I'm not Nigerian, and I'm not Jamaican. Yardies, I know you want me to be Jamaican, but I'm not Jamaican. I'm Zimbabwean.
Zimbabwe is my favorite African country. I'm serious, dude. I'm telling you, like, this man, that right there is like the perfect man for me.
Like, please, like, yes, I go to the hyper.
I can't be with an American man.
Yes, I train like
I can't deal with it.
Yes,
American men just don't know how to treat women.
Time to time.
And I need to learn.
A gym guy. So just be simplistic in the understanding that I'm about to give. Because
I need to learn how to be a better woman.
People being extra commenting, it's not
so.
All of this. You get what I'm saying? Just stop being extra. And also, when you see people being extra in the comments or just being weird,
an African man would be perfect.
I don't even. That's not even the frequency we're on. You know what I'm saying? That's just not where we're at. But anyways, from my understanding, and this is going to be an example that's going to be extrapolated to the point of frequency, so you can actually materialize your desired reality in a systematic, spiritually scientific manner. This isn't some airy-fairy stuff that we're just doing to feel nice, which is why I give practical examples, and I'm going to give you something that will practically you can start doing today, and I guarantee you it will make materializing your desired reality way easier than anything you've ever done before. And it's something you never heard of before because, once again, it came off top. Now, if we take the example of muscles, what's it called when In order to grow muscles, something called progressive overload is done. And from my understanding, it's the incremental increase, emphasis on incremental, by the way, because that's going to be a word that we return to. It's the incremental increase in the weight that you're using to strain your muscles, to tear those fibers, which allows them to grow, so on and so forth. Gym rats, please. You man that are on steroids, lie, man, just lie. No one's trying to see a paragraph about gymming and that. It's not the thing. But my point being, in order for you to grow your muscles in a safe way, it's all about progressive overload. It's the incremental increase in the amount that you're taking on. Now, in my instance, where I tried to go for 2 reps, that might have been way more overload than I could do, which would be dramatic overload, which is the mistake that a lot of people are making right now when it comes to manifestation. Yes, believe me, I tell you, the possibilities are infinite, of course, because God is infinite. But you have to understand that the God within is boxed into a particular system called the subconscious mind that we need to systematically align to make things much more easier. What you guys are trying to do is trying to, having never gone to the gym and trying to bench 200 kgs. Now, I don't know if niggas can press 200 kgs, but there's probably some gym bolo wham guy who's somewhere, doing that. But for the purpose of what I'm saying, you've never been in the gym before. You're trying to press 200 kgs. This is the exact reflection of you trying to manifest your desired reality. Because what you're not taking into consideration is how your mind has been accustomed to be molded. That's not what you're taking into consideration. Before trying to program yourself, you need to first understand the programming that you have been through. Because until you're able to do that, you're not able to get yourself out of the box that you're confined to. And until you can get out this box, you will not get to the location that you truly want to, which is your desired reality. So, once again, it's important that you understand the frame of reference from which your subconscious mind views reality. If you're trying to manifest something that is so far from your mind even being able to comprehend it, then when you do try to do certain tasks, whether it's visualization, affirmations, vision boards, scripting, this is what you're going to feel. You're going to feel silly. And what you don't realize is that particular emotion of silliness comes with a particular frequency, which resonates with the inauthenticity of what it is that you're trying to materialize, which then recreates that circumstance going back into it. So when you're trying to manifest something, and I've seen it, people will be like, yeah, I'm reading these affirmations that say, I'm worth 100 billion. And I'm like, okay, how much are you worth right now? And they're like, oh, I'm making 0. Like, do you feel silly when you're doing that? They're like, yes. And of course. And it's actually that silliness that is a affirming aspect of the frequency of your particular state. So when you feel silly, that silliness emits a particular frequency which lets you know that you are being silly. And it literally just goes back into making your current frequency more stronger than it is, which is why it seems like no matter how hard you're trying, it's just not working. And it's because you're trying to go dramatic overload instead of progressive overload.
But that's why you kind of have to be borderline delusional.
The way that you go about that is through what I'm about to explain right now. So let's say for whatever your particular goal is, and I see this all the time with my clients. By the way, if you're an entrepreneur,
I literally feel like just sitting and wallowing. Like, that's all I want to do. I just want to sit down and I just want to lay down. I lay down. I want to cover up with a blanket. I want to lay on my side, and I just want to like watch YouTube videos or like whatever. Like, I don't want to like do anything. Like, want to be depressed. But like, I'm not letting myself. At least I'm trying not to. And I just hate this because I don't like working out when I feel like this. I don't like doing what I don't like doing. I don't like fighting myself. It just pisses me off because, like, I don't know. I can't let myself get depressed. Like, I can't.
Who's stuck at a revenue ceiling and you want to break out and 2 to 5x your revenue in 7 weeks, link in the description. And by the way, that's no business advice. That's just by me tweaking your mind. But I see all the time with clients. I have a client who comes in and he's making 50K a month.
and he wants to make 3 million a month. And I'm like, well, do you feel like you can make 3 million a month? And they're like, yeah. And here's the process that I want you to do to figure out how to progressively overload when it comes to manifesting what it is that you want. I'll show you. So I'm just going to use money because it's the easiest example, of course. If you want to manifest other things such as a healthy relationship, a particular characteristic, a healed relationship, whether family or romantic, you can just extrapolate this elsewhere. But for the mere purpose of the ease of my explanation, I'm going to use money. So let's say a client or somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I want to manifest this amount.
Bus is at home.
Like, okay, then. So let's say for whatever reason, they're currently making, and remember, just extrapolate this to where you are. Don't be extra. So let's say they're making 10K a month. And their goal is 500K a month. What I do is take them through this process where I say, okay then, well, relax first of all, and I want you to just simply answer based on what you feel and pure intuition. Do you think you could make 500K next month? They're like, no, not next month. Or they'll say, yeah, it's not good enough. Okay then, so I say, okay then, let's go a bit backwards. Do you think you could make 200K next month? They're like, yeah, hesitation. Or they're like, no, not next month if I'm making 10K. Then I say, do you think you could make 100K per month next month? Once again, same answer. And we go back. And then I say, okay, do you think you could make 50K a month? And they're like, pause? Yeah. But that's not what I'm looking for. And that's not what you should be looking for. Here's what you should be looking for. I say to them, do you think you could make 30K a month? They're like, yeah, easy. And once you get to that point where it's an instant answer, and there's no need to even think about it, and it's pure instant, yeah, of course, to the point where it almost sounds disrespectful. Yeah, of course I could do that. That's easy. That is what you should target to materialize. Because when I take you through this process, and you can do this to yourself and let me know, just do it and let me know how it goes in the comments. You're taking yourself through this process of whatever it is you want to materialize, and you're like, when you get to that instant yes, that is the target for you to materialize. Because when you're in that state of relaxation, your brain temporarily produces either alpha or theta wave, which is between 4 to 8 hertz, and it's that state which is the bridge between consciousness or the subconscious mind. You are extrapolating your answer from the subconscious.
There's no real good shampoo for lice. Your best bet would be to use rubbing alcohol with neem oil.
Just mind to gain its reference of reality. And if the subconscious mind can conceptualize you achieving a particular goal as easy as it can, when you get
extremely hard to get lice out of dreadlocks though, so
because that means
10 out of 10 I recommend just avoiding
in your
that shit if you
ability
can
to attain that particular goal. And whether you realize this or not, confidence is the elixir of manifestation. There is no manifestation without confidence. And confidence is what we are building when we're discussing manifestation muscle. And don't worry, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. I'm going to give you ways that you can build that confidence to redirect it into your manifestation for the elixir of manifestation. Because the more confidence you have, the easier your manifestation will be. When you're trying to select a particular goal and you don't have a level of confidence, that is the indication that the frame of reference from which your subconscious mind views reality is too great. But when you get to that level where you're like, yeah, easy, boom, that's your subconscious is frame of reference, and that's an indication of the confidence you have for a particular goal. And the more confidence you have, the easier it will be to materialize what it is that you want, which goes into the etymological origins of the word faith. In the Bible, it says faith can move mountains. Oh, ye of little faith. And people think, oh, I have faith, I believe in Jesus Christ, yada yada yada, and they say all of these things without understanding etymologically faith comes from the Latin word fides. Fides meant confidence, but what it really was referring to was a state of conviction, which is why Jesus says, when you pray, believe that you already received it, and you will. That's conviction. Do you have as much conviction in your ability to materialize 500K from 10K a month as you do when you're flicking a light switch? Of course not. But when you find that sweet point, like when you're driving a manual
Come
car,
on, dude.
when you find that sweet point, that's you tapping into that confidence and conviction. That's you tapping into the true esoteric definition of faith. Then a mountain will be moved. But there's two ways that I need you to really lock into if you want to build that manifestation muscle. So make sure you lock in and make sure you're dropping them notes. If you're not taking notes, remember, you're just wasting both our times.
Come on, dude. Why are you doing this? I'm trying to open these fucking text messages but it's got something locked on the screen that I can't get rid of.
Somebody commented they don't like the way I wipe my board. Listen, you can come wipe it for me. Until then, you just gotta deal with it. Sometimes some of the comments are so weird, like the things people complain about. Like one guy was
How do I
like,
get rid of this bar?
I don't like the way you've tied your durag. I said, what? That's what you're focusing on. Alright, come on, you niggas can't be serious.
I'll be right back.
Trust
Okay.
is a currency. And it's a currency.
Yes, tea tree oil does help to prevent
It's
lice.
forever being exchanged for confidence.
But ultimately, lice like clean hair. They like clean, dry
Or should
hair.
I say exchanged
It's their
into
favorite.
confidence.
So
There is no confidence without self-trust.
if your hair is
So,
clean
how do
and
you build
dry,
self-trust,
probably
Nero?
it's gonna want to go there no matter
Just
what,
relax,
you know?
relax.
There's
way that
kids
you build
shampoo that they
self-trust
sell
is
with
simple.
rosemary and tea tree in it. But rosemary and tea tree, it's
Because
antifungal,
self-mastery
antimicrobial,
is
stimulates
a
blood production
prerequisite
and hair growth,
to mastery over reality.
helps oxygenate the blood at the
See,
surface
the issue
of the
is you're
skin.
trying to control reality, but you can't even control yourself. You're trying to start being a slave to the Matrix when you're a slave to yourself. How does that make sense? And self-mastery can simply be defined as the ability for you to exercise the will over your mind over
Yeah,
what
his
your
tea
body
tree
wants.
for like everything. I have it.
That's simple.
It's great for if you have fungus
Are you doing
on
things on a
under your
daily basis
nails.
that promote
Like if you have a
self-mastery?
fingernail fungus,
And that could
it
be as
kills
simple as
it
going
completely.
to the gym. It ain't even got to be anything spiritual. That could be going to the gym. That could be doing the tasks on your to-do list. That could be you meditating. Essentially, as long as you're doing what you know you need to do, that allows for you to build self-trust in your ability to direct yourself. How the hell are you going to direct reality when you don't even have the ability or the belief that you can direct yourself? I was a bar, but you get my point. If self-trust is a currency that is exchanged into confidence, your self-trust and your confidence are directly interlinked. You should be doing everything you can to build your...
That's the difference. Before I moved onto this property, I had confidence in myself. I never thought for 1 second that I couldn't do something. And ever since I've been on that property, I've realized how incapable I actually am. And it has like completely destroyed my ability to manifest. Because I just don't believe in myself like I did before. Like, I literally bought property and a bus and was just like, I'm gonna go live off grid with my kid. And I never even thought for 1 second that I would not succeed. Man, I really wish I'd never met Roxanne. Just looking back even at all the stuff in the beginning of our friendship and like see things that like I never fucking saw before.
your self-trust. And another way you do that is by following your own word. If you say that you're going to go to gym tomorrow and it rains, nigga, take your ass to the gym. If you know that there's something to do on your to-do list that needs to be done, then do it. Not for the actual tasks, but what it reinforces and represents to your mind. What it reinforces and builds is a sense of self-trust. Then that self-trust can be exchanged into confidence, and that confidence can be exchanged into your desired reality. It's that simple. And don't bullshit me. I know there's things that you need to do and you ain't done them. And that's what we all do. That's what I do. But the more that we're able to build our self-trust, the more that we have the ability to direct ourselves, our reality is inadvertently going to be affected anyways. Because it's a domino effect. You are the big domino. Once you push the domino of self down, reality will bend before you, because you are the universe. You are a microcosm of the universe. If you have the ability to master yourself, then your reality will be no problem. But reality is the biggest problem for those who don't have the ability of cultivating self-mastery. There is no manifestation without self-trust, which means there is no manifestation without discipline. There is no manifestation without you building your manifestation muscle, because everything we're doing right now is for you to do this. It looks like a dinosaur, but it's a muscle, right? Or it looks like the Loch Ness Monster. Anyways, you get the point. This is a muscle. The more that you're able to do these things, the more that you're building self-trust, the more you're building confidence, the more you're building... This guy's laughing. The more you're building manifestation muscle. And once you understand that you're building manifestation muscle, then it allows the next part of what I'm about to break down for you to understand this. This is how you build manifestation muscle. And I promise you, you have not heard this anywhere, because this is something that I share with my clients and my friends when they like to listen. If you men are watching the video, you're not serious. I know you're not. One thing that I forgot to mention, which I always go back to, we always go back to the principles of reality creation and metaphysics over here, because we're not, trying to build a house on sand. You have to understand, the more confidence in your ability to materialize what you want, the stronger the frequency. And I'm going to write that down so it's something that you never forget. Because the stronger your frequency is, which is nothing more than a metaphysical signal, which is then corresponded and matched with a particular state of reality, the more stronger, or the stronger that signal. So let me write that down. The more confidence behind your ability to materialize your desired reality, the stronger the signal or frequency, the stronger the frequency that you're emitting to your reality, which means the easier it will be for you to materialize your desired reality. The issue is right now, your frequency is weak. And it's weak because you haven't built enough manifestation muscle. So here is how you build manifestation muscle. And I love talking about this, because this is something that you don't even realize that you've been doing. But once you clock onto it and you start doing it consciously, you're going to understand. Just relax. You're going to get some. I know you're ready. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. So this is what I call a reality experiment. What is a reality experiment, Nero? Composure, steady. A reality experiment is training. I don't know why training looks extra exaggerated there. It looks a bit mashed, but don't be extra. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's training. Now, whether you realize this or not, when you've looked online for a particular car, you start seeing it in real life. When you look at a certain pair of shoes, I got on some UGG sliders. I didn't see nobody wearing these, but now I see them everywhere. Same thing with my Burberry coat. When I bought that coat, I hadn't seen a single person. And I remember I saw one nigga wearing it and I almost fell to my knees, because I was just like, no, why? How could this ever happen? My point being, there's an aspect of your brain called the reticular activating system, which is a physiological aspect of your brain, which begins to filter out things that aren't aligned to your focus. But when you begin looking at a certain car online and you start seeing that car in real life, That's a synchronicity. And all a synchronicity is the advanced version of what other people call coincidence. All a synchronicity is, and this is what reality experiments are supposed to be building. They're supposed to be building up what you call synchronicity is nothing more than strengthening your vision for the invisible string that connects your mind and reality. The more you can strengthen the vision of seeing the invisible string that connects your mind and your reality, the more confidence you're going to have in your ability to actually change your reality. Because right now, the issue is, even though you watch my videos, nigga, and you leave comments and you read books, you don't believe you can really do it. And because you don't believe you can really do it, you don't have a lot of confidence. And because you don't have a lot of confidence, you're sending out a weak frequency. And because you're sending out a weak frequency, even when you're tapping into your desired reality, it's not being magnetized to you. So reality experiments. Here's what I want you to do.
I'm so tired of changing my clothes.
I want you
Where's my shirt that I was
take
literally
this
wearing
synchronicity process and make it conscious. That's what reality experiments are. Reality experiments is when you say, you know what, I'm going to visualize a yellow Tesla. It's so crazy. I've saw somebody sent me a photo. They began visualizing a green Rolls Royce. You know, it doesn't have to be out the ordinary. For example, if you haven't seen a Ferrari in a while, start visualizing a red Ferrari. Start visualizing a black Lamborghini. Visualize a white Rolls Royce. And begin visualizing these things. Start looking at them online and keep staring at them through your attention, because attention is nothing more than a centralization of energy. Energy is nothing more than the currency that you use to exchange your desired reality with, or a undesired reality with, whether you're conscious or unconscious of it. But the more you're able to be like, when you see that black Lamborghini that you haven't seen in years, what's that going to do? It's going to do something in your mind.
Hi,
which
baby.
is what it's all about.
Good deal.
It's going to give you a light bulb moment.
See?
And that light bulb
Nice.
moment is going to be, shit, I was visualizing this.
Ready?
And you've had that moment before. And the more that you do that,
It's so silly.
and it can be a pair of shoes, it can be a
weird.
bag, it can be a
Yeah, I never
car,
knew it
it can be a
existed.
jacket,
So you can get a hole
it
in
can
it,
even be a person.
and it'll feel it.
You've
It'll
had these
fill itself
instances
up
where you're
again?
like, I feel like I'm going to see someone I know today. Then boom, you see them. And for those of you that are
Oh,
conscious, you're like,
cool.
oh, damn, I created that. But the more of these light bulb moments that you can have
Okay.
of, I created this by taking this synchronistic process and making it conscious from this day, straight after this video, I want you to go start looking at some shoes online, a bag, a coat, or a car. And I want you to visualize that thing every single day until you see it. And after you see it, what's that going to do? It's going to give you a light bulb moment. That light bulb
Oh,
moment is
yeah.
going to say, I did this, which is going to be a confidence boost. And the more that we're able to raise this energy of confidence, if you do this over and over and over again, when it comes to materializing your desired reality, you're like, yo, I do this for a daily living. Normal. I'm a 21st century alchemist. Standard procedure. When you get to that point where you built that confidence to a point where it's not even a question, because you've done it with all these other things, there's no difference when you see that white Rolls Royce, that yellow Tesla, that green Rolls Royce, that black Lamborghini, that Burberry coat, those Jordans. It's no difference at all between doing that and materializing your desired reality.
Baby,
And
go
if
wash
you
your
do that
hands.
over and over again to a point where you start seeing them, you've seen them about 4 times. Show me your energy when you're thinking about your desired reality. You'll be like, I can do that
Okay.
easy.
Okay.
And at that point, you've built manifestation muscle. So
You
guys,
need to wash your
please
hands.
don't drop any weights on your head. Don't be like your boy. And yeah, that's it.
The pizza takes time to cook. So just stop. Jeez. Oh, cool. It has a green Ralston cap.
What would you think if I told you that this was sort of ish a lotus? You'd probably think I've been drawing.
Old valve stem cap, and I can use it on one of mine.
Manifestation muscle.
Hold on, baby.
Chances
One second,
are
I'm doing
you've been
push-up.
trying to materialize your desire.
That's awesome.
Hilarious. Well, guess in a minute we'll get the tire. Wait, we don't have to take the chain off.
Nope, not on the ears. Use the front tire.
I can also use this as a hula hoop.
That's not good. That's not very good.
It's so like
would be completely flat. It'd have absolutely nothing in it.
Oh, yep, I feel this.
It's all through the whole entire thing.
Well, it's not up here yet.
Lace front braids.
Hold this little mouth.
Drake's been rocking a man weave. Oh.
Did an expose on how Drake's main Glazer account had posted a falsified police document that was falsified sloppily and stupidly, might I add, to justify Drake being a petty queen, right? And basically canceling Schoolboy Q's and also Sir's. Basically, any TD artist is not welcome in Toronto. To which TDE said, boy, the whole Bay Area plus Southern California on lock. Gotta go ahead with that,
I don't
right?
want to hear this garbage. Rot in my brain. I was listening to Nero Knowledge. I have to buy a cord to, I have to buy a cord online, but,
I love you.
I gotta have my husband look at what I've selected. So when he's got a minute, I'm gonna have
Isn't
him.
it like funny?
Yeah, it is. The
It
slime
has
thing.
slime in it for real.
Yeah, I know.
Real slime.
Like real green slime. Dad used to use it at his lawn business.
I thought it would just like leak out and show you where the hole is.
No.
If it was a big hole,
It literally
yes.
just fills the gap. When the hole appears and air starts going out, the slime starts coming out the hole and it
Actually, it hardens up when it meets oxygen.
Yeah, it comes out of the hole and then it hardens up.
Wait a minute.
What your mom just said.
Yeah.
Won't that mean while the air is inside the tire, it would also be hardening up?
No.
It's oxygen.
Yeah,
it's the process of getting squeezed through the little tiny puncture as well.
It's not gonna do that in the tire. Well, because I've used it, son. Why don't you just take an answer for the answer? I don't have the scientific process behind how the green.
Why don't you look it up, Elliot, right now? How does green tire slime work? Just go look it up.
Stop.
Here's your TV right here. Come here.
You gotta ask for permission to get
I
that.
got
Come
some
here.
tea and now my dad's mad.
Well, I'm not mad. It's just you need to ask permission. It's sweet.
It's sweet tea, baby.
Yeah, but I was gonna add a little water.
I get it. There's not yeah, but.
Just ask ahead of time. All right, guys, come on.
Are you on a live or something?
Yeah, here.
Okay. I'm just tired of hearing yeah, but.
I know, me too.
This morning, how, hey, we're gonna have a great day. We're not gonna ruin anything for ourselves because we're gonna have great behavior.
I think I was most pissed. There's the instructions.
Come here, Elliot, and look it up.
We're also gonna no. There's instructions on the box.
I know, but the instructions aren't going to tell you about how the process works.
That's how it works. Which I don't know, so she said look it up.
All right, Josh.
That's what she's telling me to look up. You get your tablet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look up online how the green tire slime works.
Look up how the slime works, bud.
Because I'm curious too.
Do some research.
Green tire slime.
You gotta make sure you say green. Because it's a brand. Brand thing.
Oh, the hip's opening up.
It shows you a video.
Good, that's what you want.
Yeah, watch it. Get educated. What'd you do with the box of cereal buns?
It's right here.
Nothing.
Before Daddy does your tire on your bike, baby, I want him to help me with this cord thing so I can get it ordered, okay? And then he can do the tires. But I need help to get this ordered as soon as possible. Hopefully I have enough money in my account to order it and enough gas to get us back home. See, I told you. I knew it. I knew it. It was the air leaving the tire forces the slime out the hole. It's funny that you say that, Project Sun, because heavy metal stories were popping up on my thing today, on my timeline.
Heather, you want a slice of pizza?
Yeah.
Heather.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Me and Elliot were just next to a Shelby GT. Elliot told him nice Mustang,
Nice.
and then I peeled out from the light and he supercharged line past us.
I bet. He probably chuckled at your little Focus.
Oh, he's doing a text. Yeah, it was awesome. I was texting Tanner because he's like a Mustang guy, and I knew he would appreciate it. Yeah, I swear. Did you figure out your cord stuff?
So that's, can you look this up? Can you help me? I've got some information, but I need you to cross-reference and check and see what the deal is. So I looked it up online, right? So what I need is what I need is XT90 to SAE. And when I look it up online to try to purchase the cord, all I can find on Google or on Amazon is SAE to XT60.
Yeah. So something I thought about that I think you're thinking about, have thought about, your charge controller has to be in this mix, right?
I don't know. You brought up a really good point. The solar panels that I get from Blue Eddy go directly to the panel, the machine.
Oh.
So if I can get that SAE to MC or whatever cord, it can go directly into the machine. It's an inverter, you know what I mean? It does DC AC power swap. It can totally go. The solar panels can go directly into it. The Blue Eddy solar panels go directly into it.
So does that not have a cord either?
What?
The Blue Eddy solar panels?
I don't have Blue Eddy solar panels. They're just a little bit too pricey for me.
So then I'm trying to. So what is your charge controller plug?
Huh?
The charge controller. What is it? What are the plugs on it?
Raw wires. The charge controller is just a box with holes in it that you unscrew a screw and you shove a raw wire into it and then screw it up again. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying I went and bought from the kit. It's supposed to be plug and play, but you have to cut your solar cord in order to get it to work on the charge controller that they include. The first charge controller that came with the original kit had holes, but that one went belly up. So I bought the exact same thing from the exact same Harbor Freight. It's the exact same brand, and all it is, it has no holes that you can just plug a cord into. You have to put raw wire and then screw it closed, like an old school speaker box or whatever.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's weak.
So yeah, it's gonna be hard to figure out what you need without it, like, without being able to look at everything.
Well, you have everything.
No, do your solar panel plugs look like?
SAE.
Yeah, okay.
For sure, 100%. Not even a question.
Okay,
SAE,
so-
100%.
Right. So, and then this is, it's that. So you
MC.
either need one with that plug on it, that round thing on the end of it,
I need,
SAE to whatever that is.
no, that goes, that's that cord right there.
Well, I understand, but if you need an SAE to that, then it just plugs right in. You don't have to do an adapter to an adapter to an adapter.
Well, that cord is necessary. Where'd it go? You didn't bring it in? Okay. That cord is necessary, for whatever reason. So that's the cord, that's the specific area that it has to go into, or whatever. I don't know. It'd just be easier to find than try to figure out what this cord is with these weird dots in it. Did you see it? Did you actually look inside the hole?
No, it's
Look.
gonna be like a 5-pin.
No, but look at it for real. It's not. It's literally 2 holes, 2 dots. Look. It's DC input 10-14 VDC. I'm just telling you what things like. So, but anyway, they have these cords, the SAE to all different types.
So then your SAE, is it a male or a female?
In every kit, they have a reverse polarity adapter.
So you have that other kit, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Okay.
And I even have, I think, an extension cord for the SAE. So I could flip it up around anyway. But anyway, so when I look up online, all I can find is XT60i to SAE, and then I can find like MC4 to XT90 or whatever, but I can't find the XT90 to SAE. I need at least 5 feet of cord.
Yeah, so just use an XT60 to XT90 adapter. I mean, those are the same plug, one's just a bigger size.
Right, but then
Bigger wire.
but then I'm doing that thing you just said that I shouldn't do, which is extension cord to extension cord to extension
No,
cord.
the adapter itself is just a little thing, it's not a cord. It's just a plastic thing
Mm-hmm.
that you plug onto the end, and now the end is an XT90 plug on it.
All right, so can you find what I need to buy and then send it to me, and then I'll buy it if it's under like $25.
How long this cord is. Oh, it's 2 feet long, yeah.
Look and see if there's options. It's the same one I was looking at. There's up to 30.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a common plug, which makes me wonder if that's really what it is that you need.
Well,
because
if you-
it's so uncommon. I don't see them using something that's so rare and uncommon on such a name brand, big name company.
Well, they want you to buy they want you to have their solar panel, which is the MC4 or whatever. I have I already have the I have a cord that is XT90 to whatever the Blue Eddy solar panels are. I have that part of the extension cord. All I would need is a Blue Eddy solar panel in that case. If I had a Blue Eddy solar panel, I could just plug it right in and there'd be no problem. But I cannot afford a Blue Eddy solar panel right now.
Mom, there was this guy that found the cord you needed, but then you texted, you already had it.
What?
There was this guy that found the exact same cord you needed, and you said you already had it, so we put
Who
it
are you
back.
talking about? When are you talking about?
When we were at Harbor Freight, there was this guy that we were like,
Curtis?
No, it was
But-
just a
but
random guy.
I sent your mom a picture of that box, and I even told you this. Your mom says she has that exact kit already.
Yeah.
I told
I
you
have
that
that.
works. So why are you in there
At
telling
home.
mom about some kit?
I thought you were talking about me, that I did something wrong. No, he didn't do anything wrong.
The guy at the store told us that here's the cable that your mom needs.
Yeah.
Then you said you don't need it. But
I have that whole
it
kit.
wasn't what she needed.
Yeah, I already have that whole kit. I already bought it.
When?
Like when I
month?
bought the solar panels and everything. I bought that extension kit because I needed the cord in it to make everything longer. I am 5'3".
Yeah, I don't know. That seems like that cord doesn't exist.
I'm going
I found a
35.
I found a 2-foot
Nope,
version of it.
22.
That's obviously not going to help you.
Mom,
But come on out of there, man. Mom's doing a live. She's in the middle of doing stuff.
why are you on? Why was Donut Media?
It wasn't. There's just a video, but pops up in the FYP. It happens all the time.
All right, come on,
Videos
let's do
just
this
pop
next
up
step,
in the
please.
FYP.
Instead of messing with mom. Gravy, man.
I love you,
I
baby.
understand why you do that. So you're still in there?
Yeah.
I'm.
Oh, you're fixing my bike?
No, we are. I'm not doing anything. We are doing it. I'm asking you to come out here and leave.
Don't you want to go do the bike tire with Daddy?
And you're continuing to just sit in there and bother mom. I can't comprehend it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll get
He's so
the two.
grumpy in the daytime. Josh is so grumpy
I'm just gonna get very loose.
until he starts to
Also very sticky.
do the thing in the afternoons. It's very stressful.
This has the instructions right on the back. We need a PSI meter reading.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. We'll set it up.
Oh, okay. I see how her foot is now. Okay. I want to listen to a reading, but she hasn't posted her video yet this morning.
Better idea. We can use this.
No, because you're gonna end up breaking one of the teeth off.
So last night, I had this experience of something that I knew I would need to share with you because it really drives home even more how to let go of the old story in a real way, not a fake way, but like a real way. And just right off the gate, I'm gonna tell you, I'm in a
it's really
very
fucking hot.
feral mood tonight, so that's gonna either make this video very interesting or very chaotic or very powerful or maybe all three. Honestly, the feralness I'm feeling is probably a side effect of what I experienced last night that I'm gonna get into. Before I get into the story, I need to set it up. I need to tell you why I'm telling you this to begin with. If you are trying to manifest as a way to run away from something that really scares you, or you really feel you can't face, or it's just like something so painful that you're just, it's like all your attempts to manifest are like you trying to push that thing away so that you can be safe from it. If you are manifesting with that kind of mindset or that kind of attempt, it's not going to go well. Why? Because when you try to run from and argue with and tell your old stories, all those scary old stories that you really don't like, the stories that say you are never going to get what you want and you're going to always suffer and you're failure forever. When you try to run from those stories and try to suppress those stories and try to say, no, you're not true stories, when you do that, you are accidentally making them even more important. And those of you who have watched my channel before for a long time, you know I talk about this a lot because it's a really big foundational issue that a lot of you need to get even deeper before you can kind of more neutrally accept the wish fulfilled, accepting the wish fulfilled in a way that's more neutral and not like, oh, I'm clinging to the wish fulfilled because I'm so afraid of the old story. I just gotta like really just grasp the wish fulfilled with all my might. So what happened to me last night is a great example for how to perfectly, instantly neutralize the old story, engage with this old story in a way that's not arguing with it, that's not rationalizing it even, but just truly neutralizing it. So here we go, and I just realized I haven't even told you who I am yet. So for those of you who really are clicking on this for the first time and you're just introduced to my chaotic energy today, hello. My name is Genevieve, and I call myself a manifestation coach, but I kind of always cringe a little bit, I have to be honest, even when I say that, because it's just, I can't even get into that today. That's a whole can of worms, what the manifestation coach label feels like. But technically, that is what I am, so that is what I'm going to call myself. And on this channel, I give you a lot of free, deep, cool insights on how to manifest more healthfully.
Oh, he is chill.
I want you to
He's so
see...
chill, Blue Dress Worker. He's super chill. I love him. He's my best friend, like I said. But he's visually impaired, which means he stubs his toe a lot. He bangs his knees, he trips over things, and he gets bumps into things. So there's a level of all the time that he kind of just starts out at. It's just hard to share space as a reactive person with someone who is also reactive. We're just all three very reactive people, and that's why I've spent every moment of my time watching videos to try to learn how to become less reactive. I'm trying so hard to be better and more patient.
Guess who we saw at the store?
Who?
Yes, it's someone you talked to, but you haven't talked to in a couple of years.
Bradley.
And, yep, we saw Brad at the store, and he had his 14-year-old son there, too.
His son is big, huh? He's got a grown man now.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe that. I was like, hey, Dad, that's Brad. And I was like, I think now I'm too scared to see, because...
His son is visiting from North Carolina.
Yeah. His name is, shit.
Bob.
No, it's not Bob. It's I can't remember. It's the name of it's
like Borden or something.
No, it's the name of a song or an artist. I can't remember.
Oregon.
No, it's not.
Oregon?
No.
I don't remember. I couldn't remember his name. And then when he said it, I still didn't remember it.
It's the name of a band. Hard.
Yourself
This is
clearly,
Genevieve.
become a true, honest, mindful observer of yourself and be able to see more honestly all
Manifest
these layers
with
of
Genevieve.
you that are interacting, that are maybe even conflicting, that are causing the quote-unquote manifestations to happen or causing the manifestations to not happen. We're really getting deep and untangling some stuff in you. So if you do like me, if you want to do deeper coaching with me, there are ways to do that. There's links below to do private coaching. You can get one of the courses. You can join the membership portion of this channel where I do group coaching and other things. Everything's in the description below. So that's that. Let me tell you what happened to me last night. So last night, I was getting ready for bed and I suddenly noticed this familiar but very uncomfortable feeling I used to feel a lot. And I think a lot of you will understand what I'm saying here, where there's like no words to it, but just this feeling of like, something felt wrong, something felt off, something feels just like unsettled within me, and there was no reason for it. It was just sort of this like mood, this like temperature that just sort of came over me. And like I said, I used to kind of feel this a lot. Like there was a time in my life, maybe 10 years ago, where it was almost normal that I always felt like something was a little bit off or something was wrong or something was missing. And you can't quite put your finger on it, but you're just like, I just feel off. My energy feels off. I feel like I'm in a weird mood, but I don't even know why. So that's what suddenly crept upon me last night. And since I've been manifesting now, doing this freaking work for so many years, I've gone through a lot of layers of healing around that. So I don't often have that just come upon me very often anymore. So woohoo, that's great. But as I said, last night it was there. It just was there. It just came upon me. Again, I couldn't even identify a thought or anything that caused it, because as you might know, sometimes these kinds of feeling states are caused by a thought you were thinking and taking seriously. Other times, like in my case last night, there was no thought. It was just a very subconscious, like so subconscious, meaning beneath consciousness, such a deep subconscious state was just kind of like finding its way out. But there was no thought. It was just like weird, uncomfortable feelings. So I got into bed. I, settle in. And in my quiet time before falling asleep, I just asked myself, so what is this? What is going on? I did a little self-inquiry. And this is exactly what I would want you to do if you are noticing that some sort of weird mood is coming up and you're not really sure, like, why do I suddenly feel this way? Where did this come from? This kind of came out of nowhere, but I suddenly feel weird. Literally just get quiet and ask that feeling, so what's the story here? Like, what's the message? What's the label? What's the words, if any, that are kind of attached to this energy that suddenly I find myself in? So I asked that question and I got back this. Things are not good for you, Genevieve. Everyone knows that you're failing, that you're a failure. Everyone knows. Oh my gosh, I can't even be my creepy ASMR old story part of myself without laughing, because it's just funny to say it out loud. But I'm trying to, this is my old stories microphone. We're doing creepy old story ASMR, and this is what it was telling me. You're failing, Genevieve. You are failing. Everyone knows you're failing, and you will always be a failure. You will always be alone. No one will ever truly know you or love you. And you're fucked. Your whole life is fucked. You should just accept that you're never going to be happy. You're never going to be comfortable. You're never going to feel good. You're a failure. End scene. So I heard my old story telling me this, and I wasn't surprised. I've heard this shit from my old story, my parts of myself that got that scary conditioning. I've heard that shit so often. But as I said, I've had many years now of going through it in layers. So I'm familiar with it. I can clearly see it for what it is. And I also understand at this point in my journey that really deep, insidious stuff, like that really core human fear, like most of us humans have a core human fear of never being loved or never being known or just failing epically forever. So that big core stuff, yeah, it tends to come up in layers as you just live your life. That's normal. It's not like one day you perfectly clear it away and then it's gone forever. Although some stuff that could happen, but there's other stuff that, yeah, it isn't that perfect. Humans are more nuanced than that it's not this black and white, like, okay, now it's gone, I'm good forever. And the more you can accept that as part of the journey, you're gonna be good. But I digress. Let's get back to what I was saying. I was not surprised to hear these things. I've worked on them before. But here's what happened last night that shifted it a lot bigger and kind of faster than I've been able to shift this before. And I really do attribute that to exactly what I just said, because I've been working on this in layers for years. Because of all that work I've done before, it really set me up to have a really big shift in this moment last night around this. So what did I do in this moment that I'm hearing my old story telling me these things? I'm already feeling the uncomfortability of, the fear of these things. So what did I do in that moment to neutralize all of this? I deeply accepted everything that old story was saying. What do I mean by that? I literally just said, okay, I'm a failure. Okay, everyone knows I'm failing. Okay, yep, no one loves me and no one knows me. No one will ever love or know me. That was it. I simply just deeply allowed myself to accept the possibility of that. I didn't try to argue with it. I didn't try to rationalize it and say, oh, well, no, that's not true. Lots of people love you, Genevieve. Everything, is working out for you. You got some things that are going well. I didn't do any of that. I just simply said, okay, I surrender. I waved the white flag, old story. If that's what you think, that I'm failing, that blah, 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 all that stuff, then fine. It's true. I accept it. That's it. I accept it. Do you know why this is so powerful? Because when you accept what a bully is trying to taunt you with, they no longer have any fuel to taunt you. This is what I mean when I say you have to accept the old story in order to neutralize it. When you agree with your inner bully and just say, okay, sure, you're right. I'm totally, you know what, totally okay with what you're saying. Yep, maybe I will really be alone, unloved, a failure forever. Maybe that really will be what happens to me. And I'm totally okay with it. When you say that back to the bully's kind of like, oh, you're cool with this now. So what do I say to you to bother you now? To drive this home even further about this power of neutrality and how it applies to manifesting, let's use an example of something you're already probably very neutral to. And in this example, your creepy ASMR old story is gonna tell you this: you will never ride a tricycle ever again. You can't ride a tricycle. You can't ride one now. You can't ride one tomorrow. You can't ride one ever. Tricycles are forever barred from you. You are not worthy of them. You can hear that right now and be like, okay, I wasn't really worried about that old story, but thanks for letting me know. I can accept that. I can accept that maybe I'm never gonna ride a tricycle again. Things that you are neutral to do not bother you, and things that you're neutral to tend to be easier to manifest. This is why you hear all the freaking time in success stories, you know, oh, it's easy for me to manifest XYZ because, you know, XYZ I don't really care about. Like I can kind of give or take it. I'm kind of neutral about coffees or about cars or about jobs or even about men or whatever it is for that person. I'm neutral about that. I could give or take it, so therefore it's easy for me to manifest it. This is why it's easy to manifest things you don't care about, because you're so neutral and not threatened by the not having it. There's no part of you that would come up to you and be like, you can't have tricycles, because that wouldn't work on you. There's nothing within you that would care. So nothing within you would try to bully you about not being able to ride a tricycle because you don't care about riding a tricycle. But the things that you think you could not handle, the things that you give a lot of power to because you're like, oh, well, if that happened, well, if I never rode a tricycle, I would be so in suffering for the rest of my life. That reaction is what gives the old stories power. That reaction is why it's so difficult to manifest the things you care about, because most of your energy is so invested in trying to run from what you think you can't handle, that you can't handle. Like in my case, failure or not being known or blah, whatever the heck it was. So when your old story gets out, its subconscious, creepy ASMR microphone and tries to tell you you're never going to be loved and you're SP, they're going to reject you forever. You're going to fail at everything forever. When that happens, you cannot start debating with it. You cannot start rationalizing it. You cannot, I don't even want you to thought flip anymore. I simply want you to just say, okay, if that's what's going to happen, okay, I can fully, genuinely accept that as a possibility. Which leads me to my next important point. When I say that you're accepting whatever this old story is in a very unconditional way, you're just accepting it as a possibility, highlight the word possibility. You are acknowledging, wow, there are so many options for my life, and I'm accidentally leaking a lot of power into the options I don't like because I don't accept them. So when I say you're accepting this failure or whatever it is as a possibility, You're not identifying it in the ways you might have when you were spiraling in your past,
Why
where
do
you
I
go,
always
oh my
do
God,
this?
it's so true, I am a failure, and yes, it's just so true, I'm never gonna, you're not doing
Stay
that.
tuned.
You're not over-identifying with agreeing to the old story, like, yeah, you're so right, it's never gonna work out for me. That's not what we're doing. Instead, you are just seeing and accepting this old story as, yeah, that's
Is
an
it?
option. I could even entertain that
Fix it for
option.
me?
I could entertain the option that maybe
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
never going to win the lottery, or maybe I'm never going to get the job I want, or maybe I'm never going to find the relationship of my dreams.
Okay.
There is this amazing, weird power, this freedom that you get when you stop caring about needing to avoid that so badly. And this is what happened to me very powerfully last night. There was something that clicked so much deeper last night. Because as I said, I've done this in layers many, many times where I've accepted whatever bullshit my old story was trying to tell me. But last night, when I really accepted everything it was saying, like, sure, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to rationalize this. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'm not really a failure because look at this on my resume. Didn't do any of that. I just said, okay, you win. In this moment, you win. I will accept that as a possibility, that I am a failure. When that happened, when I really just accepted it from an empowered place, that's what I mean about we're not spiraling and over-identifying like, oh my God, it's so true. It was an empowered, yes, I can accept that possibility, that if that really were true, if that really did happen to me, that I'm forever a failure, whatever it is, if that really was the case, I could accept it for the rest of my life. I could accept it. In that moment that I genuinely accepted it, I had a physical energy shift that is like almost hard to describe, where all of a sudden it's like in that moment that I was laying in bed doing this, it's like I felt my energy like pulsate out and like grow. It's like I felt like I was expanding in that moment, and it felt almost like euphoric and really just awesome. It was like my energy was finally physically being freed from that trap that was like really scared of like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable about being a failure. Because that's what that uncomfortable mood was before. When I started this whole story and I said I just felt like I was in this weird, uncomfortable feeling, I didn't even know what it was. It was that subconscious story was already taking root in some, again, very subconscious part of me, and I was feeling it. I was still feeling that old way that I would react to that story. But the minute that I genuinely accepted it, like, sure, let's just accept that forever maybe I will be a failure. Maybe I will be alone. Maybe no one will ever understand the real me. Maybe I will just never get all the things I want. Fine. That's fine. I can live with that. I can accept that. I hope you can hear the empowerment and even how I'm saying it. And this feeling of this energy rising was just so cool. It just deepened even more for me that like, yes, this is the thing to do to manifest. Reclaim this energy. Get so neutral to all the possibilities. And when you're really neutral to everything, that's when it becomes easier to just assume that, yeah, maybe it is working out for you. It's like, to go back to the tricycle example, when you don't really have a strong identification with riding the tricycle or not riding the tricycle, it's easy to just sort of like pick your preference in a light way of like, oh, I guess I would like to ride a tricycle today. But you're picking it and you're thinking about it from this place of just like, yeah, I could accept that that's also a possibility for me. Not in this way, you're not picking the tricycle in a way that's like, oh my God, I can't handle the never having the tricycle, so I need to grip on to riding the tricycle. You're so much more likely to ride the tricycle because it's just an easy decision, just an easy turn of focus, as opposed to this, again, like hard, like, oh my God, I can't handle that. I've been told that I can never ride the tricycle, and it feels so real that the tricycle is barred forever for me. That's neutral now, so it's easier to just accept in a light way. And even if it didn't happen, you wouldn't be that bothered because, as I said, you're not so identity shaken by riding the tricycle or not riding the tricycle. This is so funny to be talking about tricycles. I feel like all of us are going to be riding tricycles this next week because of all this talk about tricycles. When you have this deep, genuine level of acceptance towards what you think you don't want, and I'm emphasizing genuine because, as always, you can't trick yourself. You can't just go through the motions of like, okay, I accept that, like wink wink, I don't actually accept that, but I'm just saying that because that's what I'm supposed to say. When you genuinely accept something, it feels different. This is what I know I was tapping into, and I've tapped into it before, but it was like so much deeper last night, where it was like I really just felt like I just made peace with the idea, sure, I'm a failure. Sure, I'm alone, or whatever the heck it was. I just truly in that moment made peace with it. I no longer feared judgment about it. I was just like, that's okay. It's just okay. So this is what I mean by genuine. When you genuinely accept it as like, yep, I could handle it. I would be fine. I could just genuinely, deeply accept that option that I've been running from for so long, which by the way, is just an emotion. These whole things, this is a side note, but it's important. These things like failing or being loved or all these big things that are important to us humans, it's not really about the physical show of succeeding or failing or loved versus not loved. It is about an emotion you're trying to run from. Because I'm sure most of you have also had, maybe there were times in your life, to go to the failing example, where you were actually really succeeding, but you still felt inside like a failure, or you still feared inside that you might be a failure. The same with love. Maybe there were times in your life where you were so loved and adored, but at that time you still didn't really accept that you were loved and adored, even though you were getting all the physical signs of it. So what I'm saying here is, when we're running from an idea like I can't be a failure, all we're running from is an emotion we don't want to feel. There's an emotion that we equate to, oh, this is what I would suffer as if I was a failure, and we're running from that emotion. We're not accepting that emotion of what it would feel like if we were a failure, or if we weren't accepted and loved by our person, or blah blah blah. The list goes on of things that are important to you. So when you accept my example of like, okay, maybe I am a failure, you're accepting that emotion that's behind it that you used to run from. And so I'm bringing this up because for a lot of you, when you first start to accept these things, it's going to be extremely normal and actually good that when you first accept the possibility of something that's very important to you, it's going to bring up sadness probably. Like to accept, like genuinely accept the possibility that maybe the person you love isn't going to love you in this lifetime, that's going to make you sad. And that's normal. You're accepting the sadness. You're not accepting it in a way of like spiraling in it in terms of like what I said, over going into it. Like, oh my God, I really am never going to be loved. We're avoiding that as best we can. You're just accepting the physical sensation of sadness in your body. And when you first go through these layers, the top is going to be the most emotion. And as you go through it, like I have in my example, you'll find that the more and more you practice accepting it whenever it comes up, that's when all of a sudden it just feels empowering to accept it. So I'm saying this as like a caveat that like in the beginning, right, especially if you're new to this kind of a thing, it's not going to instantly feel like, oh, yep, I'm so empowered. Although for some of you, maybe it will for certain things because everyone's a little nuanced in their stuff they got going on. But I'm just saying I want you to like scientifically expect that when you practice accepting things that before you really couldn't accept not being loved, you really couldn't accept being left out or being a failure or not having money or maybe never getting your health back, whatever those things are that are really important to you, it's going to make you feel grief. That's what it is. That's what we're all running from. All of us humans, we're running from feeling grief, and that's the core of all of these old stories, if we're really getting down to it. So when you can really just sit with yourself and accept your own grief that's triggered by the story you're running from, that's the first layer. And then as you keep accepting after that initial grief is purged, that's when it'll become more and more empowering, and you'll get to whatever point I seemed to achieve last night, where I just felt like superhuman, where I'm like, oh my God, I don't care anymore. I really don't care anymore. Even if I am a failure or whatever that means, or all of that, I just don't care anymore. That doesn't have any power over me anymore. No one can bully me about it. And not that people ever bullied me really, but like the idea of anyone triggering me about it. Like if someone came up to me and was like, Genevieve, I think you really are a failure. It's so funny to think of someone saying that. But if someone did, it would just be an interesting reflection of them to me. It would no longer be something I was agreeing to. If someone really tried that on me, which again, no one does, but if they did, I would see it as like, oh, they're trying to inject something about them into their dynamic with me. But I'm neutral to this. Like, I just don't even care. Just the same as you wouldn't care if someone came up to you and was like, hey, you're never going to ride a tricycle and I'm going to bully you about that. You would be like, okay, you've got a weird thing about tricycles. Doesn't really apply to me, but okay. Okay, as always, I feel like this video has gotten long enough, a little bit rambly, as I always am. But I just knew I had to share this with you because it would really drive home in a very specific way what I mean about accepting your old story and that being the quickest way to neutralize it. And like I also said, a lot of you are at different levels of this. And for those of you who are, for example, like really still very threatened by the idea of maybe, you know, never being with your SP or never getting your health back or never getting the money that you crave, if you're still really triggered by that, I would want you to focus most on just releasing that. And by releasing it, I mean accepting it. I use releasing and accepting interchangeably, honestly, because a lot of this stuff I'm talking about today, it comes from the book, The Sedona Method. It also comes from David R. Hawkins in his book, Letting Go. And those two groups come from the same originator. So I'm saying accepting in this video, but really what I'm talking about is what they say, and that is releasing, because there's a natural releasing that happens when you deeply, deeply just accept something. You would just accept what you don't want, and it causes this whole paradox. As you know, there's so many freaking paradoxes in manifesting that when you get really neutral to what you don't want, you're much more likely to seamlessly, more effortlessly get what you do want, because you're not so threatened by the opposite. Your power's no longer getting siphoned away into that. So if you're very, very much in a lot of wounded, painful attachment, can't handle your old story, again, I would have you focus mostly on the accepting and releasing, letting go, whatever you want to call it, and then get to affirming, or whatever your law of assumption technique is. Get to that once you genuinely start to get more neutral. Because as I said, with a tricycle example, it's much easier to just assume, yeah, I could ride a tricycle if I wanted to, or like, I could imagine that, probably it's going to happen. It's much easier to assume that when you kind of don't care about it not happening. So the same goes for absolutely everything. So lean into that paradox, really lean into embracing, okay, I can accept the possibility of what I have feared the most throughout my life, and you step into real power when you do that. So, okay, that is it. Let me know your thoughts and questions or whatever the heck it is you want to say down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye.
And now, so remember, it's always easier to push down rather than pull up, right? Because then you're not fighting gravity, you're using gravity to help you, right? So come on this side, push it down, right? Now remember how tight it was when you took it off. You don't want to put it too tight. Let's try that. Let's see. Let's see. Now let me do this side real quick. Good. You're going the wrong direction. Okay, good. Push down towards gravity, right?
The superpower of detachment is not only the key to soothing any suffering you might have in this life, it's also the key to getting exactly what you want, which is one of those interesting, seemingly contrasting paradoxes, because a lot of people wrongfully think if I detach from what I want, then I certainly won't get it. And that is just an ego misunderstanding. So much of the way your ego works, it doesn't translate into understanding manifestation well, because as I've said before, manifestation operates on a spiritual level of operation that is so far beyond the 3D mechanisms we're used to, and the ego is built to navigate the 3D. The ego is not built to navigate the 5D, the 4D, or the 12D, or any of the other Ds. So when it comes to practicing manifestation, you even need to detach from your own old ego logic and embrace that we need to really surrender ourselves to the power of detachment, because again, that is our key to ending suffering and paradoxically also getting exactly what we want in our lives. So we are going to go deep into this topic of detachment today. I think we need to talk about it more, especially when it comes to law of assumption, because law of assumption culture right now is very focused on having, like drilling into you, just have it, have it, have it. And that is a part of it, but I'm going to explain to you what real having is in this video. Because sometimes when we're too focused on just the having of it, we accidentally lose our detachment. We accidentally get more attached to what we're trying to have, and it makes us even more disempowered. So we need to just really touch on this today, talk about it, get deeper into it, and yeah. But before we do that, I will introduce myself to any of you who do not know me yet. My name is Genevieve, and I am a manifestation coach. I am the kind of coach that likes to go deep into these topics. I am primarily a law of assumption practitioner, but I'm the kind of coach that really wants to explore the deeper nuances, the paradoxes, so that you really understand this well, because when sometimes we keep things too simple, we accidentally mess them up. So if you enjoy my content, if you like my style of coaching, there's all kinds of ways you can work with me. You can do a course. I have 3 courses available that you can do and start right now. I also offer one-on-one coaching, which unfortunately is kind of booked out. I'm becoming more and more popular. I'm not totally sure how to deal with this because I'm only one person. I can only talk to so many people at once. So I'm booked out a few weeks. So I suggest if you want a session, definitely book it now and just be patient with me as we just see how this goes. Otherwise, you can also join the membership portion of this channel, or you can just subscribe and like the video. You don't have to do any of the other things. You can just enjoy the free content. So with that said, let's do a deeper dive on detachment together. So as I said earlier, the law of assumption community puts a lot of emphasis on having it, like just drill it into yourself that you already have it, you already have it, you already have it. And this is correct. You do need to take responsibility for internally maintaining and balancing your having of fulfillment. But this is where people get a little bit weird. True havingness of the wish fulfilled does not come from delusionally believing that you have the 3D thing. Because again, that's what a lot of people are doing. They're just hammering away, yes, I have the 3D, yes, I have the 3D, yes, I have the 3D. But because they're making it so much about the 3D and not about just their own relationship with inner fulfillment, they're making it all about the 3D. They are becoming more attached to the 3D. They are making the mistake that fulfillment comes from the 3D. It doesn't come from within, it comes from the 3D. And they're subsequently causing themselves even more suffering because they're so attached to results and they need to see results. And there's this urgency and this anxiety about how come it's not happening yet? I'm not seeing the 3D change, or how come this is happening in 3D? And there's like all this like hyperfixation on anything that happens in the 3D because the way you're trying to manifest is accidentally making havingness all about I have that 3D thing. I have to keep hammering away that I have the 3D thing.
The walls
but
are all
true
covered.
havingness,
Either way, if you open the store, it'll hurt me.
Fulfilled maintainment is an energy that's about fulfillment itself. It's not an energy that's fulfillment because of the 3D. It's unconditional fulfillment that you then extend to the 3D. You're not trying to get something out of the 3D. You are saying like, no matter what the 3D is doing, I am a being that is operating at energy levels above and beyond the 3D. I am not of the 3D world. I am simply in it temporarily right now as a 3D creator, but I am not of this world. So therefore it will cause me suffering if I'm trying to get fulfillment from the 3D world that is not even me. It's a powerless shadow world. So I will only continue to suffer more if I'm trying to like milk fulfillment from the 3D, when really raw fulfillment is channeled through me, and I simply acknowledge that that fulfillment is extended to the person, place, or thing that I am manifesting. This is what I mean by your fulfillment is unconditional. Your fulfillment is detached. It's detached from the 3D. Your true power of fulfillment is acknowledging that the 3D is simply an after effect byproduct of the unconditional fulfillment that you are maintaining within your God self, your relationship to yourself that is all internal, all within how you relate to your own self. There is a very natural sense of detachment when you acknowledge my fulfillment is not dependent on any of my manifestations. My manifestations are dependent upon my fulfillment, and my fulfillment is my responsibility and mine alone to take care of within myself. This is part of what it means to be the operant power, is you acknowledging that nobody's coming to save you. You can only save yourself through changing your own perceptions of yourself and changing your perceptions of the world and your place in this world. But fulfillment cannot be contingent on needing to see the change. For example, if you're manifesting your dream job, you're taking tests to get into school or into the career field that you love, you cannot be manifesting with this sense of like, okay, when they accept me into the job or when they accept me into the school, then I'll be fulfilled. Like once I get the 3D change, then I'll be able to relax. Then I'll be okay. That's how most of you are operating before manifestation. And for some of you, that's accidentally getting more compounded the more you're trying to manifest in that old way that doesn't work. Putting the 3D change first will never work. And the more you're attached to needing to see 3D change or even wanting to see 3D change, that's another paradox. True fulfillment, true inner havingness is so detached that you don't even want anything to change. You become completely non-resistant to the 3D world because you don't need anything from the 3D world in so many ways. And I'll just pause here and say, I get that what I'm saying might sound very much like a lofty goal to achieve for some of you, like, oh, to achieve fulfillment, I have to become super independent and never want anything or never need anything, and I just need to be like so like totally hyper fulfilled and confident all the time. And that's also a big misunderstanding of what I'm trying to convey. So let me really define what fulfillment is in terms of me saying you maintaining your fulfillment no matter what, that you kind of don't even need anything from the 3D, you kind of don't even want anything from the 3D. That doesn't mean becoming hyper independent, totally confident all the time, totally above everything in some like inhuman way. The fulfillment I'm talking about is that whenever anything happens, and it could be a good thing in the 3D or a bad thing in the 3D, no matter what you see happening, you accept it. You don't turn anything into a threat, and you also don't turn anything into like a savior. Like, oh, when this person chooses me, that will save me. Or when this job chooses me, or when I get this amount of money, that'll save me. So you're not overly attached, and you're also not overly reactive to bad things happening. You're saying nothing takes away my fulfillment and nothing even gives me my fulfillment, because I got me. No matter what I go through, no matter how I'm feeling, no matter what, I always show up for me in my relationship with myself in the most self-honoring, self-respecting, self-loving, self-trusting way, no matter what. And I never make myself feel bad based on a 3D thing. And I never put myself beneath the 3D thing as if it's like, oh, I'm here and I'll be happy once I get up here. We're not doing that anymore. This doesn't work. When you're trying to get to something that's on a pedestal, it can't come to you. This is the essence of detachment. I really hope this is landing on you. It's not that you need to change really anything about yourself or like become some different hyper confident person. It's just that when things do come up within you, you have to be completely accepting of them. You just have to be like, yep, I feel sad today. That's just how I feel, but I still
like, so like when her examples are like, yep, I feel sad today. My situation is actually life or death. Like, yep, my electricity doesn't work today, so like I guess I'm just gonna feel sad today. Like, I can't do that. I immediately have to go into solution mode and I have to figure it the fuck out, you know? So like I can't just give myself time to accept the feelings. I can't do that because it's literal survival. You know what I mean? Like so like this is like I really am getting it. I'm understanding what she's saying, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I could totally apply that to my life. But like I just realized, like, with that one bit is like, yep, I'm sad today. It's not just I'm not just having feelings because of no reason, you know. Like I'm under a great deal of stress to keep us all alive. Keeping myself alive is hard. I'm completely out of my element, and I don't understand what more I could do, how much more accepting I could become. I mean, recently I haven't been accepting. I've been anxious as fuck to get the hell out of there. But for the entire time I've been there, since day one of what she did and how it like fucked over the whole situation, I accepted it. And I started to just, okay, well, I guess this is the reality now. I'm just going to move forward without her. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it anyway. And that land is beating me down. I need to sell everything. I need to like figure out how to sell stuff. So when I go home, I'm going to get Hannah to help me, and I'm going to see about itemizing and selling like everything I own. like that I can pick up and move. And then I can have her do the selling for me. Like she could help me out in that way by actually getting the stuff sold because she's really good at that. My grandma had Ehlers-Danlos, and I think I have like mild, but it's not like, I definitely am not in the position a lot of other people are. But I mean, I've always had hypermobility. What?
Your pizza slice is ice.
It's okay. I'm gonna just nuke it when I'm ready. I'm glad that it was cooked and not frozen anymore. Will you put a paper towel over
We're
or something?
going to go for a bike ride. Not right now, but later.
It'll be a minute.
Why?
Well, because.
Daddy's gonna wash his hands and stuff.
I mean, just in mom's in there in the bathroom, but you're doing stuff. That's where the bike is.
Oh, you can get it. I should open the door now. What was I just gonna do? I just had a thought. Tell me what you were just saying. What were you just saying?
Me?
There was something else. Oh, the pizza. No, it was that. Yeah, so my knees, if I have to keep them straight like this because if my knees will just go completely like, they'll rest in a backward space. What are you doing, baby? Don't get Daddy's bike.
I'm getting the bike out ready for him.
Doesn't he have to change a tire?
Oh no, that's on the other bike.
Oh. This bike works still?
Yeah, this
I
bike.
thought he said he had to come back early yesterday because this bike stopped working.
This bike, the front brake was
Locked
stuck
up.
closed. It's still doing it, but we did make it really far. We're only.
Is your bike done? Is his bike done?
Yes.
Alright, let's move your bike into here.
This is the broken tube, which isn't even making a noise.
Let's get your bike.
There's no noise. Where is the hole?
You wanna help Mom? With
What?
your bike?
Oh yeah. Mom, could I explode this?
Not everything has to be destroyed.
Besides this. It's done.
Here.
No, that's
Hold
not.
this in my hold
that's
this
not
here.
where it's going
Hold
to go
this
right now.
for right now. Hold it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, but my dad's in the bathroom. He's gonna hit it.
It's not gonna stay there.
Where's it going to go? We're not going to be working on that bike.
He's gotta work on the bike.
He's going to work on the other bike when he gets
Now put that bike in
the
there.
part. When he gets the part that. Now this.
Excuse me. I got it.
I got it. Actually, yeah, you can get it. Hey, Mom, look. I found these in the back seat.
Nice.
My pugs. Can you put those in? Never mind. Remind me to take those.
So hypermobility is actually what my problem is kind of from because I've spent a lot of my time like this, hunched over. You can see the shoulder difference, like even when I'm hunched over. So my left shoulder does this curving forward thing, like this. So you can see it. It's curving forward, but the other shoulder doesn't do that as much. Like it goes forward and over like this, but it doesn't curve like around. Whereas this one curves around. So I'm trying to rebuild the muscles here and stretch the muscles here and here so that my shoulder can actually function. My scapula is not moving properly. They don't like move the same.
I'm doing this so I can hear the air.
And it's been a problem with my whole life that I've had like with my shoulder that I'm just now starting to try to fix.
Yeah, it's definitely a small, tiny hole that I can't hear.
Yeah?
Not,
No,
it's not aired up enough.
Elliot, please do not explode the tire.
I'm not going to explode.
Buddy, you already asked if you could, so I know what you're doing right now.
Why? The
I
tire
think I have a
that's
rib
not
that's
even
dislocated.
connected to the bike. Huh?
Yeah, my insurance should cover it, but
I know, I want to.
it's like a pain in the ass when you live, you know,
And I
60
also wanna
miles
find out
away
where
from
that
anywhere. It's a one. So
Now, for me, I still know that nothing is.
it's a one-way 40-mile trip to go anywhere, and so I
Can
can't
you
do
use
that.
your nail and push down on that little lever? It's
I can't do anything for myself that isn't. Don't move. Stop moving. If you move, it's going to make me have to move.
Okay, that's good. Stop.
Ew! It smells like fucking weird.
I know it's.
Ew!
It smells
God!
Like it smells like dead duck.
It does smell like dead water animal. Yeah, it does actually.
I'm going
Oh.
to explode it.
God, it smells like jail.
Wait, that's what jail smells like. Is that actually
On the
what jail-
girl's side.
What the heck? Wait a minute, I have an idea. To air it out, I can just use a dime.
Yes, DJ, that is literally what I want to do,
Remember
but I don't
comb
have
of
anywhere I
some
can
kind?
swim.
Your
Huh?
comb, it's still too big. This needs
no.
it needs to be flat.
I'm not doing that again. That stunk so bad. You're just gonna have to wait. It has a hole in it. Why don't you just let it slowly leach out?
Oh, I mean, like, I want to get to the right size, so I'm gonna use this comb.
Use the screwdriver. Don't use my comb. Don't breathe that in.
That?
I don't know what that is.
Fire.
Let me look it up.
Mom, how many times did you go to jail?
Well, it was all from the same thing.
What?
Hold on.
What was it?
Oh my God, yeah.
What was it for?
Yeah, I bet you're right. I could really use this
What
type
was,
of chiropractic.
What was it for?
So the original charge I got arrested for, I went to jail for 3 months, and then I got released on probation. And probation,
Are you still on probation?
no. Probation is like when they monitor you to make sure that you're behaving.
And following the law.
That's right. And you have to check in with them every month, or sometimes more than that, depending on your charges. But I violated my probation, and then I went back to jail for another 3 months and got put back on probation.
Did you see how cool that?
Then I was in jail for probably a month and a half, and I got released and put on probation again. And then I violated my probation, and this time I asked them to please not put me on probation, that I would rather just go to prison if that's what it meant. And instead of putting me in prison, they just told me that I had to do 1 year in jail. Just under 1 year, 1 day less than a year. So if I counted all of the times that I'd already been to jail all together, all I had to do was 2 weeks. So I went to jail for 2 weeks, and then I got out.
Really? 2 weeks?
Yeah, Daddy and I didn't know I was going to only be in jail for that short amount of time. We thought I was going to be in jail for months.
Was that cool?
Okay. See, you're doing. You're. I know what you're playing around with. I know what you're doing. Take it outside or something. Don't be getting
Explode it.
crazy.
That's why I said that's an outside thing. You can't do
All right,
that
stop doing my
outside.
comb, please.
Come on, please. Oh, here.
Where are we going?
Out of the
So then I can explode.
Yeah,
it
that does sound like
outside?
it would be great. So my issue that I think what I've pinpointed is that there's a lot of muscle weakness from me allowing my muscle to just be in a neutral messed up position for so long. I already know that these muscles, the muscle that's like right here, there's a tiny little muscle that goes right here, and then there's a muscle that goes from here in your armpit and goes right here. It goes behind these muscles right here. So it's like the muscle that's right here. This muscle and this muscle are super duper weak, and because they are so weak, this muscle having no strength, it's just like, it's collapsing. And then this muscle is overly stretched from being pulled like this, so it needs to be strengthened so it can like hold the shoulder in place where it needs to go, and then the shoulder can function properly. But like the shoulder is not in place where it needs to be. It's like, you know, and like you can see the shoulder bone is even like trying so hard to curve, even when I put it in the correct spot. So that's just what I'm doing. I'm just trying to like fix a mobility issue on the left side. And so the right side, however, I have the exact opposite. So like, as you can see, I have like super hypermobility with my thing on this side, but like they're not the same, you know. So I do use proper form. When you see me not using proper form or whatever, it's something I'm doing intentionally because I'm feeling it pull or exercise a very specific location. But other than that, I do try to keep form. I was a gymnast for a bunch of years, so I do know how to, like, especially in the beginning when you're trying to essentially go from zero, which is where my butt muscles are and like these couple muscles are. I'm going from like actual zero. You mostly have to try and do it more so than how it looks to how it feels. You want it to feel right. So like when you bend over and touch your toes, you don't bend here. You bend here. So you have to keep this part of your back straight and you bend at your hips. And so you can't necessarily do that in the beginning. So you just have to do, you know, do what you can and then stretch these muscles. And eventually, you know, you'll be able to go down further, you know, in the right way. But we're not supposed to use our lower back to, you know, bend like that. You're supposed to, you know, bend to pick things up like this. But it's about feeling, knowing what your body is supposed to feel like. So what you got to do is get your, I'm watching. Oh my God. Get away from the glass. Get away from the glass. Because when it explodes, it could fling. He's out there pumping a bike tire, a bike tube until it explodes. Fucking boys. Yeah, when my back is definitely too flexible. That's why I'm doing the musculature stuff that I'm doing with my shoulders, so that I can I'm trying to essentially build my core. I told you it was gonna hit the glass. Didn't you hear it? Did you not hear it thunk the glass just now? Oh, was that just the ricochet of a sound? Holy shit, it literally, from in here, it went thunk.
I bet it was extremely loud.
Holy shit, Elliot.
That was so fun. I'm scared Orly.
My bad.
Feel this. It's warm from the explosion.
That was funny. You got what your dopamine.
Okay.
Alright, get ready to go buy a Pride.
Go ahead and either eat this piece of pizza or go sit. Okay, either eat that piece of pizza or go sit down somewhere. Calm down.
That was so much fun.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Thank goodness it didn't have metal wire in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do. It didn't have metal wire. We wouldn't do it if it had metal wire.
That was so much. Oh, right. The tube doesn't have metal wire, but the rubber does on the outside.
That's why I suggested you get away, because the
These
pump
don't
part.
have metal in them. Car tires have metal in them. Bike tires do not have metal.
Why do they have metal?
Because the car tire is supporting a lot of weight, so the metal's in there to help hold the tire together. Because you got to think of how heavy a car is. You know, these tires. There's two tires that are supporting the weight of the bike, which is what, 30 pounds plus the rider. I'm 170-ish, so like 200 pounds. But on two tires, that's only 100 pounds on each tire. Now think of a car. Our car weighs almost 3,000 pounds, and it's across 4 tires. So that's 3,000 divided by 2.
1,500.
Exactly. Now, so 1,500 is on 2 tires, 1,500 is on the other 2. Now, what's 15 divided by 2? So you're looking at 750 pounds on each tire on the car. That's a lot of weight for a single tire. So they have to put that on there. So
That was so much fun. Did they get that?
Mm-hmm.
What'd they say?
I don't know.
You didn't read
You
it?
can read the chat right now. It's probably the same.
No, they're not talking about anything about the tire.
Stuff should be here soon, but
Didn't you guys notice that the tire exploded? That
Okay, balance is off.
scared me.
Okay,
so
I'm trying to balance, baby. I'm trying to balance.
badly.
Trying to balance. Don't knock into me.
bedroom, please.
I'm just getting on the exercise bike.
I really wish you'd just come out of there and leave Mom alone.
He's fine.
I smell like mayonnaise. I smell like mayonnaise.
You smell like
I
mayonnaise?
smell like mayonnaise.
God damn, we can't balance for squat on this side.
I can smell like mayonnaise. I can smell like mayonnaise. I smell like mayonnaise. I smell like. I'm on 6.9. Oh, 0 miles per hour. 9.6.
That is a lot harder than it looks.
I'm going 9.6. Oh, 0.
That sounds like a gunshot. It's really quick.
Yeah. Let me go back.
How old are you now, Project Son?
It's a threat to me.
I thought I smelled dog
that
shit, and then I just realized you
beyond my
hit the
wildest
bowl.
dreams. I still know that the people I love
It literally
are
smells like dog
continuously
poop.
choosing
You
me,
didn't.
continuing to be committed to me. My
No,
jobs
you
are
didn't.
Yes, you
working
did.
out. My
I
money
smell it now.
situation's working out. My health is getting better all the time.
Alright,
You are claiming these things as byproducts of the fulfillment that you are claiming for yourself, but you're not hitching your horse to the 3D need to see it. And to go back to what I was saying at the very beginning of this video, there are 2 amazing things that happen
What,
when you
baby?
really embrace your superpower of being able to detach from this 3D world. The first thing that happens is that your suffering goes
All you have
way,
to do is
way,
turn
way
backwards on the
down.
bike.
A
Roll
lot
it
of you
backwards.
have
Just turn
probably
normal
heard the
and then
famous
ride backwards.
spiritual quote that attachment is the root of all suffering. And it's extremely true for us humans. I know that every single
it's gonna
person who's
flip
watching this
over.
video right now can think back to a time in their life, or maybe it's
Mom,
the time right now it's happening for them,
I'm
where they were
squatting
overly attached to
Yeah.
something
See?
and it just caused
See what I
them
mean?
more and more
Yes, I
suffering.
see you
Squatted.
squatted.
Your ego
Yes.
will trick you that your attachment
Can you
is
help
somehow
me?
controlling it,
Can you
because
help?
your ego thinks
Elliot,
if I just grip it really
You don't need help. Stop crawling for help when you don't actually need it.
Again, you've felt, you've had experience of it, but when you get so attached
Yes!
to something, it's like hard just to go
Yes!
through your life. Where it's
Put your foot on the ground.
distracted.
Put your foot on the ground.
So if I come in there with the spanking spoon, you wouldn't hop right off of there and be...
Oh yeah, he would totally hop right off of there. Get your foot out of the loop. You're doing this on purpose.
It's suffering is just kind of magic.
Get out of the loop.
Fog that clears away.
There you
It's
go.
like,
Thank you.
it's like, whoa, life is
Crying wolf. Remember, Elliot.
fun.
We live a real lifestyle that outlet you can't be crying wolf for.
It's my way. It's like,
It already has happened, Daddy.
so obsessively
That's what happened when he sprained his wrist.
I've said like 12 plus.
Well, right now, I'm
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mute and pause this.
Oh,
Ride the
I
waves
just,
of
yeah.
life. Well,
You can
ride
say,
the
"I'm
waves
sorry,
of 3D
I
reality.
wasn't listening.
You're
Dad."
no longer
That's the
treating
only
yourself
comment I want
like
to hear, okay?
I won't be okay with
Well,
certain
done.
things. I'll only be okay if this happens and it needs to happen soon.
Alright.
When you're in that kind of a mode, you are in a very insecure self-concept, and it's like wrapping yourself in glass. It's like a glass cage you're like trying to protect you with or something. Like that's what attachment feels like to me. Like putting up the walls of attachment. It feels at first like something that's really protecting you, like, oh, this is keeping me safe. I've built this wall. But because it's glass, it is going to break with like the smallest thing and just like cut you. And not only that, but it's like suffocating to be.
Dude, I am like literally baffled at what has gone on with this. I do not understand what happened with YouTube and being throttled so hard. I'm so baffled. Like, I literally got almost 4 million views last month in July. And now I'm just getting 30 people in my chat. And like, it won't go over this unless there's some, like when my power box died for like a second, I had like 80 people in the chat, I think. But like, it just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, completely just utterly, totally stopped pushing my YouTube shorts in the shorts thing. And I've been looking around and doing research. So there's this girl who I would put her right at my comparative, like she's, I think she might live in her car. But anyways, she's like going to the gym. She talks about recovery. She talks about like, you know, real life stuff. She's an authentic girl. Her name is Brooke. And she gets, and we have been getting the exact same amount of views and stuff for a while now. I've been kind of like watching, keeping my peripherals on her. And I just found her today. She has 200 people in her chat right now while she's live, and I cannot get over 30 people in the chat, and I don't understand what has happened. It used to do this only when I would go on the computer and I would do sideways mode, because then it would only promote me to the people who subscribe to me, if it did it at all to any of those people. But when I do it on my phone or on the mobile device or whatever, it shows up in the YouTube Shorts feed. I don't understand. I'm completely baffled. Like, what has happened all of a sudden? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Yeah, it literally happened overnight. It literally happened overnight. Look at this. New achievement unlocked. 5 million views. Look at that. And I have 29 people in my chat. This is just baffling. Wait till the channel analytics. This is like crazy. Look at the drop off. Hold on, where's that? So I was getting 121K views, and then all of a sudden, why can't I? I can't fucking see it now. By views, there we go. Okay, weird, it is. Oh, it dropped off so hard. That's why. Look, so it dropped off so hard you can't even see it. So green is like, and then to 0. I don't know. I can't understand what I'm looking at. My brain gets confused when I see it. Oh, I hate computers. Ugh. I don't know how to use computers. So this is, look at, this is the top view I got. And that was when my power supply died. So I'm getting literally 1% You keep saying that, Zero Fox, but they're not. So if you just don't say shit that is awful, you don't get in trouble. Like, it's literally that simple. But you constantly complaining about the mods. Let's see. I'm going back and looking at all of your history of everything you've ever said. So yeah, there's, I mean, oh, see, you one of your first comments on my channel, one of your very first comments was, can I be a mod so I can block all the mods? That was like one of your first comments ever on my channel. So I'm going to go ahead and assume it's not them. I was reading the comments. But anyway, so it's just weird because I'm getting 1% of what I was getting before. It's just absolutely fucking baffling. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. No, it's not the bus. I was getting the most, actually. The most views I ever got in a live was actually while I was here. Last week or 2 weeks ago. It's not. And I was in the bus when it happened. So it just literally, I just woke up 2 days ago and my YouTube was completely throttled. I don't understand it. Just sucks because, like, every time I start to fucking think that I might be able to make a little bit of money on a platform, the platform fucking throttles me. This literally happened every time. It happened on Bigo. I got banned from TikTok. As soon as I started making money on TikTok, I got banned. As soon as I started fucking making money on fucking Bigo, boom, stop making money on Bigo. I just don't understand. I'm like, I don't have negative thoughts, and I'm not trying to bring that kind of crap on myself in any way, shape, or form. I'm merely, I get excited. And I'm like, yay, oh my gosh, I'm finally going to be able to support my fucking kid and not have to scrape and be, you know, constantly in a state of unease. Oh my God, yay, I might actually be able to fucking provide for my baby. And then I get fucking surprise. Surprise, actually, Heather, no. You have now just burnt yourself out on another platform, so now you have nowhere to go. Now there's nowhere to go to make any money. So once YouTube dies, once you don't have a way to make money on YouTube, you're going to be without money. Fun times. Just fucking punch me in the face. Dude, I literally was getting like 1,000 likes per live stream. I just don't understand. Yeah, no, it's not from mass reporting. I already spoke to YouTube. And I lost 100 followers. So that must have been what they did. They must have like mass unfollowed or whatever. So I have 100 less followers than I had like 2 days ago. That's what they did, and that's probably what happened. Let me see. Oh, yeah, look at this. Here we go. This is gonna, okay. So this is where I was, July 28th, right? That's a lot, okay? And then, to nothing. Look at that. Doom, over the course of like 3 days. Well, this was the one day, that was the biggest, this was when I was at Josh's house, I think. And then I went back home, and this is what I was doing at home, which was average and fine, normal. That's like, you know, been what it's been for a while. But now, boom. I'm just absolutely, I'm confused of what, like, I don't know, I'm confused. I guess I should check my thing and see. YouTube was really helpful, actually. It was the best customer service experience I've ever had in my entire life, as far as like instant rapid communication. So they said basically it doesn't matter. They've got a lot of stuff. They're very used to, you know, mass reports. This is something that people go through a lot there. Oh, that's a good idea. So anyway, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, YouTube. So anyway, they basically said that because they are, you know, always dealing with mass reports, they don't actually take your content down or do anything to punish you until they've reviewed, a person has reviewed it or whatever. They said that the only thing they would do if there was mass reporting going on is I would lose my monetization status or whatever. They would, you know, take away my monetization for that video. but yeah, they said they deal with that kind of crap all the time, and it's not something that I should really worry about. There is like the YouTube Partners program, but it's invite only, so hold on, I gotta go pull up Amazon. I gotta try and buy this cord. See if I can afford it. Dude, Tuppy, so that's what I thought the problem was. I thought the orientation was locked. It was locked like this. Then I would be getting, that's exactly what I thought happened. That's exactly what I thought. Because when I go live on the tab on the computer, it's only sideways orientation. And sideways orientation makes it so that you only pop up to your followers. My orientation is in vertical mode. I don't understand. I did check that. But like, it's just, I don't understand. I don't understand what the fuck. All right. I need to find, let's see, XT90 SAE. Okay. SAE 60. I don't understand why there's no X, or there's no 90s to SAE.
Oh, here, I found one that's longer. Hold on a second.
Okay. Dude, Tuppy, it's baffling what's going on. So, like, even YouTube isn't even telling my followers that I am live because I have almost 40,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? This is something that's bizarrely, this is like, it's something that's weird. I think I'm going to shut this off and turn the live on the computer, though. I want to see something. I want to test something out with that. And I need to use my phone because I need to buy this extension cord. So I'm going to switch over anyway. BRB.